Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing today? Once again, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning walk. I just get some, for first time listeners, I just get some exercise during the day, the morning, and I just share some thoughts with you guys, whatever's on my mind, whatever I was inspired to talk about that day. I just share those thoughts with you guys. So, good morning, wherever part of the world you are. Just good morning. I usually be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:30 Central Time, and 8:30 Eastern Time, right? So this is Gregory Wiles with his inspirational morning walk, guys. I got something to share with you guys today. I'm going to get right into it because I want to cover most of it, right? What we want to talk about is that unseen world. That unseen world, what Paul always talks about. In 2 Corinthians 4:18, he telling the Corinthians, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Tessa, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? All right, so Paul is saying us in 2 Corinthians 4:18. Jillian, good morning. Good morning. So we're talking about this unseen world. This is a foundation that believers need. I want to give the believers, this is a foundation that we should have, because if we don't have this foundation, a lot of things are not going to make sense to us. A lot of things are not going to make sense. So we need to have this foundation. And so I'm going to shed some light on it today, right? We need to have this foundation. So what's this world that Paul is talking about in 2 Corinthians 4:18? So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Now, what is he talking about? What's this unseen world that he is talking about? Is Paul, what are we talking about here, man? Anyhow, so let's try. Let's take that same 2 Kings 6:15-18 that we talked about last week, right, on Friday. 2 Kings 6. I can read from 15 through 18. This is when the king of Aram was war with Israel, and every time he planned his attack on Israel, like Israel was always one step ahead of them, like someone was giving Israel information. So Israel was always one step ahead of them. So he said his generals, he said, man, someone of you guys are giving Israel information. You guys are working, someone is working for Israel, and it's out in our camp. And the guy said, no. There's a guy called Elijah. Even things that you discuss in your bedroom, he will know and can tell the king of Israel. So he said, who? Okay, it came back on by itself. I'm getting some internet issues here again in this same location where it was last week. But anyhow, so the guy said, find out where this guy is, and I will try. We'll surround the city and we'll kill him. So I'll pick up from right there when they surround the city, right? So when the servant of the man of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. Oh no, my lord, what shall we do? The servant asked. So see, he's looking with his natural eyes, right? His natural eyes saw these chariots and this whole army surround the city where Elijah was to kill Elijah. He's seeing, that is his natural eyes he's seeing there, right? That's for real what he's seeing. So Elijah said, do not be afraid, the prophet answered. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Right? So the young man was like confused. What are you talking about, Elijah? I'm seeing that physical army right there. You telling me those who with us is more than with them, right? So what did that mean, right? What did that mean? You think Elijah was going crazy? Elijah see what's going on with him. And then Elijah prayed, open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see. Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elijah, right? But how are you saying the Lord opened his eyes? Why Elijah praying for him to open his eyes? His eyes was already open. He saw this army surrounded them. So what type of eyes Elijah asked him to open? And then the Lord opened his eyes, right? That's what a believer got to think. That is his spiritual eyes. That is a spiritual. In other words, what he's doing, he giving him a glimpse into that unseen world that Paul is talking about. That unseen world that's more real than this world, right? He's just giving him a glimpse Elijah telling God, God, give him a glimpse of what's going on in the world that he cannot see, right? And that's what it means, open his spiritual eyes. He getting a glimpse into that world. And God did give him, pull back the curtain, so to speak, and said, this is what's going on. This is what you can't see with your natural eyes, right? But this is what's going on here. So that's why Elijah didn't panic. Elijah didn't scared, because Elijah could had the ability to do that. God did give him the ability to see into that world, right? So that's what we're talking about, and that's the foundation of the believer. Because if we're looking at things only through our natural senses, where the five senses can see, touch, feel, and taste, we wouldn't understand a lot of things that in the Bible, and we're gonna miss our blessings if we don't understand it and get this foundation right. Now let's look at in Psalms 91, 11 and 12. Let's look at this. He said, for he command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you may strike your foot, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. Again, you can't see no angels trying to lift you up and all of that, right? But it's just like this case with Elijah. They're there, but you can't see them. But if you don't believe in them, and you don't believe in that world exists, you would read the scripture and say, this is foolishness. This don't make sense, right? I remember a story, and this is a true story, of a lady. She was coming home late from work, and she decided to take the shortcut to get home. She took the shortcut, and as soon as she passed through this little shortcut, about 5 minutes after, a lady passed there. She heard the police sirens coming up and all of that, and the lady passed there and got raped. I can't remember if the lady got killed, but she was raped. 3 men raped her, and this bothered her. She said, if I just passed, I didn't even reach home as yet, these men had to see me. They had to see me. Why they didn't touch me? And she asked the police, she said, could I ask these men a question? The police was like, okay, go ahead. Ask them the question, whatever you want to ask them. And she asked them, she said, why you guys did not touch me? Because I just passed here. And I know you guys had to see me from the timings. You had to see me, because as soon as I passed, this woman come and you rape her. Why did you touch me? The men said, You had 6 big, tall, strong men with you, 3 on each side. When we see that, we run and we hide. We hide when we saw it, because she was walking and praying for protection, right? But so you see, God gave them a glimpse of what's going on. The same way talking about Psalm 91 here, but he gave his angels charge over us. He had his angels charge over us. And he peeled back the curtain, so let them see what they're messing with. Let them see, do not touch this one right here. Do not touch her, right? So he give them a glimpse into that world. So they run and hide. They run and hide when they saw that. So they did not touch her. So that's why she was confused. Why you didn't touch me? I was walking by myself. No, you weren't walking by yourself, right? So that's what we got to understand and believe as believers, right? And if we don't get this foundation, it's going to be challenging for us to really get the faith that we need and really get a solid understanding. And look who quickly here what Jesus said here I remember when they arrested Jesus, right? Matthew 26, 50 through 53. When they arrest Jesus, then the man stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached out for his sword, drew it out, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ears. And Jesus told him, put back your sword in place. Jesus said to him, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. He said, don't you think I can call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? Jesus said, man, look, I don't need your help to fight for me. I could call on my Father, and he would put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels. Now, a legion, if you look at it, is somewhere around 6,000. Around 6,000 is a legion, right? And he's saying he would put more than 12,000 legions at my disposal. If I want it, I can ask for it. And that's what's happening. So then you mean Jesus saying, I could have about 72,000. I could have a whole army, but 72,000 agents coming to protect me. But, this is really the way it should be done. And this is his will, right? So those are there at our disposal, but if we don't understand and get this foundation, we don't know how to call on them to use them. It's just like you going through something and then you tell your friend next day, man, this is what was happening. Your friend was like, man, why didn't you tell me? I was right in the area, or I could have come and I could assist you. And that's what these angels saying, we're here at your disposal. But if you don't understand this stuff, how to put us to work, we cannot help you. We cannot help you if you don't understand how to put us to work, right? So, but we're there at your disposal, right? And the next one in Job here, in Job 33, 14 and 16, right? Job 33, 14 and 16. He said, for God speaks again and again, though people do not recognize it. He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night, when deep sleep fall on. He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night, when deep sleep fall on people. As they lie in their beds, he whispers in their ears and terrify them with warning. So he's saying, God can try to get your attention while you're awake. He tried to get your attention while you're awake, right? Again and again he's speaking. You don't see it. He's sending somebody to give you a message. You've seen some billboard with something. You're reading in a paper or a magazine. He directs you to some book, and he's trying to give you a warning, but you're not recognizing it. So he said, okay, I can try and reach him when he's unconscious, when he is not conscious. No, when he talk about he whisper in the ears. He's not talking about your physical ears. He was trying to talk in your ears all the time when you was walking around and awake. So now we whispering in your spiritual ears. He's speaking directly to your spirit now, right? That is in that realm when you're sleeping, right? He's speaking directly to the spirit. So that's your spiritual ears. So that's why when a lot of times Jesus said, the disciples, why are you always speaking in parables and to these people and all that? He said, who have ears, let them hear. Who have ears, let them hear. He's saying, if you understand this stuff what Paul is talking about, you can understand what he's saying. But if you don't understand it and have this foundation, you would not understand what he's saying. Just don't matter how fine he tried to break things down to you. If you don't looking at things beyond the belief of looking beyond our eyes can see, you wouldn't understand what he's saying. That's what Jesus is saying. Who got ears, let them hear, and who got eyes, let them see. If you looking at things spiritually and not physically all the time, yes, physically, but as a believer, you got to look beyond that, right? You got to look beyond that, because the world is real, it exists. Everything happened in that world first before it happened here, right? And we had connection with that world. We had connection with that world with Adam and Eve. Remember Adam? God used to come and talk directly to Adam. So we had the connection, but after sin come into play and the devil get control of people, had access to people, now God had to snap that connection. He had to snap the connection. So now he choose who his prophets, and that's what the prophets do. That's what a prophecy is, right? A prophecy, show them what's going on in the world. This is what I have going on for this person. Go and tell them this. And those were the prophets will come and say, I see this and I see that and I see that and I see that. Yeah, because he gave them a glimpse into that world to see what he have planned for you. And he said, okay, go and tell Gregory this, or warn him against this. This is what, the enemy planning. So as the prophets will come and say, I see this and I see this and I see you there, and I see, that's what they're saying. They're seeing it done happen there, and he's just trying to warn you what's going on. So he choose who can get access to the world or not. So some people might say, but I could go and get my palm read. I can go, somebody can read my palm, or I could go to a psychic and they can tell me, what's going on in the future. What's wrong with that? It's the same information I could be getting. And yes, but here what's wrong with it. It's like I got a car, right? I got a car, and me and you got the same car, same make, same model, same design, same everything, but I buy mine and you stole yours. I buy mine and you stole yours. How you got yours? You got it illegally. The police can come looking for you and arrest you for theft. But it's the same car, same make, same model, right? But it's how you get yours, how you get it. You get it through a different means that he's saying you shouldn't get it through. Because here what he's saying in Deuteronomy 18, 9 through 12. He said when the Israelites was going into the promised land. He said, when you come into the land that the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not learn to follow the abominable practices of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who burn his son or his daughter. We could get into that as offerings. Anyone who practice divination is anyone like those psychic and stuff, anything who tell them about the future, that's divination. They're practicing divination, right? or tells fortune or interrupt omens, or a sorcerer or a charmer or a medium or a necromancer. Those are what people claim to talking to the dead and all of that, right? So necromancer, or one who inquires of the dead. For whoever does these things is abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord your God is driving them out. That's why he taking them out to the land. So I'm saying, guys, yeah, so you can go and do this stuff and get information, but it's wrong. It's illegal. You're bringing a lot of problems on yourself when you do that. You're bringing a lot of problems on yourself when you do that, right? So we got to start looking things as believers through a different set of eyes. You can pray and ask him to open your spiritual eyes, open your spiritual ears, so you can see and hear the things that he wants you to see. I just need people to get this foundation as believers. You have to get this foundation. If you don't get it, things are not going to make sense to you. It's not going to make sense, and we're not going to get all we need to get out of our spiritual walk, right, guys? So I'm going to leave that there. I may continue and make on this point, because it's really a foundational thing that we need to build on. All right, guys, so have a great Monday, and we'll talk again on Wednesday.